So I'm back at the booth dropping off another order, and I'm going to be restocking today. So hang out, come restock with me. Alright, so thank you for tuning into this video. I appreciate it. I am the dude without fear, and I've dropped off my online order from my customer. Now I'm here at the booth just doing some restocking and going through that today. As you can see over here, right there, I've had a comic sell off the rack, so I gotta replace that with another comic. And I'll just take you through my routine of what I do when I restock. So typically when I restock, I just bring like a short box of comics, and then this one's really full, so it's got a mystery bag in it and a comic that wouldn't fit in there. This Daredevil #8 error copy. So this, it kind of just depends, what I bring kind of just depends on the work that I have completed throughout the week or whatever. This box is a short box that is packed absolutely full of both dollar comics, so I can restock the dollar bin, put some fresh stuff out in that, and priced comics that I hopefully will have room for, and if not, they'll go under the table with the rest of the future stock stuff. But like, so I've got boxes underneath both tables where I have inventory to stock for the future, so I don't have to bring inventory every time. And that was intended just to be, hey, that's my stuff, you know, that's for me to stock with. But customers found out that I had stuff underneath the tables, and they went through that stuff, and that's fine. It's all priced, so I have no problems with that. It's just my only issue is that they may be waiting a long time before they see new stuff. So that's why I try to, even though I've got a ton of boxes of dollar books underneath the dollar bin table, I know it's been picked through already, so for the people that know about it. So which is now everybody, now the whole internet knows. Good going, dude. But I try to bring new dollar stuff and put that stuff in the bins first. That way the people that go through it have something new to look through. So let's just kind of take a look and see what I need to restock. Alright, so haven't sold anything out of the display case. Still got 2 comic book boxes. My bags and board inventory is good, so all that's cool. Let's go down here. Mystery bag box is still pretty full, and I got 1 comic off the display rack that's gone. Always check to see how full the boxes are, so I can put some more X-Men stuff out. That box is pretty good. A lot of room in that box, that's good. I try not to have, I don't want the boxes to be really tight because they're really hard to go through. So if they get loose, I try to keep them a little loose. Like this box is like really tight, and so I will not be stocking anything that's in that part of the alphabet. But the loose stuff, that kind of determines, you know, what I'm going to stock if I have that stuff available. But don't have it available when I'm here, I know what to work on for next time I'm here. So let's keep no action figures sold, which is good, because I don't have a whole lot more action figures right now. So there's my box of stuff I'm bringing today, and then I've got some room in the dollar bin. So let's look through just a taste of like what I'm putting out here. So this is a box that once it's empty, it's going to go for in my new box inventory. It's a brand new, fresh, crisp box. So got a bunch of cool dollar bin books. Some newer stuff. Just a little taste of what's in here. It's a cool cover. Some older stuff. And I got a lot of, that's not dollar bin. So that's going in. That'll go in. That'll go on the rack, most likely. More dollar bin stuff. Look at that cool cover. Going in the dollar bin. But that's what I wanted to show you. I got a bunch of these Alex Ross variant covers. These timeless villains that are going in the dollar bin. And you're like, why are you putting those in the dollar bin? And I'll show you. It's because they've got these like really deep, which this one ain't actually too bad. Should reconsider that one. But they've got this really deep bins in them. Like, see that? So like, they're really deep. So if someone were to get them and to press them, they'd be really good. But I'm not selling what the future grade is. I'm selling what the grade is now. So if someone just wanted them to display them, then this is a heck of a deal. Or someone doesn't care about condition, heck of a deal. So yeah, I got a lot of those. Got some stuff that someone brought in to the store to sell me, which I bought and I'm now priced. Got a really cool foil Moon Knight. That's actually going to go on the rack. Got a bunch of Disney 100 variants. More Alex Ross. Trade paperback. Some new stuff. This old independent comic from '71. It's really weird. Like that. Got some Jim Lee signed stuff for the display case that I brought in the event that there's something that needed in the display case, and a nifty mystery bag. Alright, so I'm going to restock this stuff and then we'll talk in a minute.
A few moments later.
So just kind of wanted to talk about what it's been like to be a comic book vendor inside of a vendor store, to have your own comic book booth, and just kind of share what my experience has been. So my primary means of selling comics is on my website at withoutfearcomics.com. And I put my best inventory, when I was starting out, I was putting my best inventory on the website. And so I had all these boxes of comics that I didn't want to put on the website. And I was like, well, I'll put these in, like, I'll take these to like local conventions and stuff like that. And I did do that. I sold at some local conventions, and I went out of state to sell at a convention. And it just was not a great experience for me. Conventions seem like they are a good place to sell if you have old comics or key comics or expensive comics, or yeah, that's about it. Just your standard run-of-the-mill issues of Amazing Spider-Man, which I thought would do really well at a convention, did not do well for me at conventions. And so it's like, I just haven't had a good experience selling at a convention. So I was like, well, let me get a booth then at a store, because I love going to a vendor mall and finding a comic book booth and being like, let's get some good deals. And finding a location to sell in that did not already have comics in it, or that was affordable, was very difficult. It took me a very long time. And then in my second year of being full-time in the business, I was like, my goal this year is to get in a store somewhere. So that was my goal, and I got in. It still took me a few months, but I got in to where I am now. And it has been awesome because I'm the only store in that city that sells comic books, and I've tried to make it as much like a little itty bitty tiny comic book store as possible without selling brand new comics like subscriptions. So I mean, it's been good because that's opened up another stream of revenue because I've got the website revenue and I've got the store revenue. So that's great, obviously. And it gives me a chance to kind of meet some of my customers, which is cool. Getting to talk with them and stuff like that. It's not like owning your own store where you're there all the time and people come in and chit chat with you all the time. This is like I'll run. Maybe you'll see me, maybe you won't. And but it's still really cool anytime I get to see a customer and talk to them. I've met some really cool dudes, and it's been fun being able to do that, being able to meet your customers, and being able to provide a cool place for people who like comic books to just come and buy comic books, because they don't have, like I said, there's no store there. They would have to drive at least 20, maybe 30 minutes to go to a store, and for in some places farther than that. So it's cool being able to provide this place for people to come and hang out and meet other people that like comics, and it's cool to be able to give that to comic book fans. So I really love that I've been able to do that. I love that I don't have to worry about running out of storage space, because this place is basically, instead of this stuff being in my storage space taking up room, it's now stored at the booth where people can buy it, and I just have to replenish that. And I have storage space there for future stock. That stuff still is not going into my storage space, it's going into that storage space. So that's really cool, because you free up room, and that's always good. It's great because you get the benefit of having, it's like you have employees, because I don't have to be there to man the store. A customer comes in, buys the comics, they allot the sales to me, to my booth number, and that's it. And I don't have to be there to collect the money or any of that stuff, and I get paid at the beginning of the new month for the previous month. And so it's pretty great, because I can still go out and buy collections. If I have to drive a couple hours to go to a collection, I can still do that. I don't have to man the store, because it's being manned by the store's employees. So that's excellent. Really love that. And it honestly makes the idea of having my own comic book store one day seem a little less exciting, because I know if I do that, I'll have to be there all the time unless I have an employee. But almost every comic book store I've ever gone to does not really have employees. It's the owner. So, but not me, right? If I get to that point, I ain't gonna be running it. Somebody else will run it. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I really love vendor malls and antique stores that sell comic books. So I'm all about that. And I mean, a booth space is a lot cheaper rent too than renting a commercial space. I mean, it's crazy expensive to own a storefront, and to just have a space in an already existing storefront, much more cost effective, that's for sure. My biggest issues with it are that I don't always know what I need to restock. So like when I'm processing books throughout the week, I process what I've got, what I'm working on. I'll get a box or two and go through it and price it, and we're good. It's ready to either go on the website or go in the store. And so sometimes when I go to the store, I might have like a stack of Batman or Iron Man, but nobody bought Batman or Iron Man. They bought Spider-Man and Superman. So now my boxes where Spider-Man and Superman comics are empty, and my other ones where Batman and Iron Man are overflowing. And so that's why it's good to have some stock there already, so you can kind of pull from and stock where you need to if you're able to. And I'll get to that point to where I'll have a little bit of everything there at all times, so that if I go and something's missing, I can just easily pop it in. My biggest issue with having the booth is trying to keep the comics organized. I organize them in alphabetical order by character first, and then by title, and almost every freaking week somebody comes in and just messes all that up. But no, it is every week. Someone will go in there, and there's probably numerous people will go in there and just pull out a giant stack of comics, flip through them like this, and then now the stack's over here in reverse order, and they'll pick that up and they'll put it back in the box. A general idea maybe of where it was. Sometimes they'll put it behind the divider where it should go, behind the label. Sometimes they'll put it in front of the label, which is not where it goes. It goes behind the label. All you in front of the label people, stop. But sometimes you'll have people that will like get a stack of comics, and then they'll go through every comic that I have, starting at the A's in the dollar bin all the way to the Z's at the priced stuff. They'll go through thousands of comic books, like 5,000 comic books, and then they'll just decide, no, I don't want these, and then they'll just start putting stuff wherever. So you'll be going through Conan and you'll find a zombie comic of some kind, and it's just like, what the heck, man? You'll find a $4 comic in the dollar bin. You'll find dollar comics peppered in all over the price stuff. It's honestly chaos trying to keep it organized, and that is my biggest issue. And if that's my biggest issue, then that's not really an issue, right? Because it's not. If that's if that's the only real problem I've got, then it's great, and it is great. I love having the booth. I'm very thankful for the booth. I hope to expand the booth and have an even bigger booth, and to just keep growing. And that's the goal of the business, is to keep growing. So that's what I'm hopefully doing. So if you are considering selling comics inside of a vendor mall, inside of an antique store or something like that, being a vendor somewhere selling comic books, my number one piece of advice to you is to just know what you're selling. Because if you, let's say your booth rent is $300, right? Which was the common price that I found for a booth rental space, and not a lot of space. Which is why it took me so long to find a space that I was ready to jump in on. But if all you are selling is like $1 to $5 comics, if that's the vast majority of what you're selling, then you have to sell a lot of them to even break even for your rent. And so, like, just be aware of what it is that you're selling. Also, the other thing that I've learned is that you cannot 100% prevent theft. You can just try the best that you can to make it hard for them to steal your stuff. So I used to just put a common price sticker on it, and after some thefts, I no longer do that. I have a more detailed process of my pricing. And so just make sure that you are taking every precaution that you can for people to not steal your inventory, because they will do it. It's going to happen. You can't avoid it, but you can make it hard on them. Make it as hard as it can possibly be. I just wanted to make a video kind of talking about the booth and what it's kind of been like to own the booth, because that's where I'm trying to go with. I'm just trying to keep putting out videos, trying to honestly just tell you all what's going on. Keep you updated on Without Fear Comics and all that stuff. So that's been my experience thus far in owning a booth. I really enjoy it. It's a great way to sell comic books. If you've got comic books to sell and you buy a lot of comic books, and you'll have more comic books to sell. It's a great way to do that. So I guess that's all I've got to say about that. So thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. If you're thinking about being a vendor, selling comic books somewhere, I hope this was somewhat informative for you, give you an idea of what to expect. And that kind of gives, y'all just a little taste of what it's like doing that. And that's all I got for this video. So I appreciate y'all watching. As always, be excellent to each other. Collect without fear. Take it easy.